welcome everybody. What today is Talk to Me Tuesday, where I share helpful networking tips to help grow your business. I am so super excited today because I have amazing guests that listen. Words can't even explain it, but he's going to explain it for you. But listen, quickly before we get started, I want to make sure everybody grabs their pen and paper because listen, we're going to be dropping some nuggets today. And you know I'm always cutting up and acting up, but I'm going to try to be real good because we have a special guest today, okay? So while I'm getting all my little devices together, I have the one and only Mrs. Sione Prince on here, and he is an amazing leadership coach, y'all. So please introduce yourself and let the audience know who we're talking to today.
Well, hello, Tandra, and your guest. This is Sione Prince of SionePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. I'm a personal development strategist as well as a leadership development strategist. And I really help people to see the best possible version of themselves, not just so they can lead themselves, but so they can also lead others. And I'm excited to be on your show and to share some incredible information, not just about leadership and personal development, but even about networking. So I'm ready for it.
Yes. Listen, networking is my wheelhouse. So listen, for all of those, thank you, Mrs. Deborah, for tuning in. For all of those who don't know me, my name is Tandra Price. I am known as Networking Manager. I am a network strategist, and I help you as entrepreneurs plug into the power of networking by expanding your networking base, helping you grow your online communities, and cultivating relationships that make your business profitable. So I am super, super excited. So listen, you know me, I'm always ready to jump into the good stuff, to the good juice, to the juicy. So when you hear me say the word juice, audience, just go and put a 1 in there. And if you're watching it live, put a L for live. If you're going to watch the replay, put an R in for replay. So what we're going to talk about today is our ecosystem. Listen, I know that I talk about it a lot, but it's so important. And I have the king himself here that's going to really hone in on why, leadership is so important. It is so, so important. So as we're talking today about our topic, listen, what is your ecosystem looking like? In networking, I tell you all the time, and we have multiple layers of networking, but we are finished the last quarter. We have to be strong. The first quarter, we have to finish it strong. In April is going into the second quarter. So listen, we want to make sure we clear all our receipts for the first quarter, y'all. Let's add them up. And if you didn't get where you wanted to be, let's go back and revisit that to make sure that, we don't make those same mistakes in the first 3 months, in the next 3 months. So I talk a lot about coaching, why it's important to have a coach, our ecosystem. A part of networking, you have to have a coach to help kind of, push you, get you out of your comfort zone, get you out of your mind. I think every time if you have a coach, you go faster. If you don't, you go a little slower. So give us some little insight on why you're thinking coaching as a leader is so important.
Well, coaching allows you to see stuff that you really don't see. Les Brown said you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And so you need somebody close to you and somebody that really cares about you and your success to be able to see the things you can't see. Because all of us, we have blind spots. There are areas in our business, in our life, in our relationships that we really don't see fully or clearly. And we need somebody to objectively look at us and actually give us the feedback that we need. And having a mentor is one thing, because a mentor is someone that kind of molds and makes sure and they volunteer their time. But when you pay a coach, when you hire a coach, their job is to get you to the championship, if you will. Their job is to help you get where you need to be. And so when you pay them, you need to look for them to actually do their job, to give you the feedback. And don't be mad or upset at them when they call you on some stuff or when they point out some things or areas that you need to actually do better in. Yes.
But you know what? That's let me tell you. Okay, audience, thank you so much for joining in to Talk to Me Tuesday. Mr. Prince says some amazing stuff. First of all, you know what? We need a coach and a mentor is two different things. Yes. Write it down. A coach and a mentor is two different things. They're not the same. Mentor is going to be like, I said mentor gives you that high five. Hey, high five, okay, cool. But a coach is going to do something so totally different. That coach is there to make a transformation. And how do you make the transformation is when you make that transaction.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Did you hear me? The transformation comes when you make the transaction, because now that coach, like Mr. Prince said, they have a responsibility to get you to the championship.
Right.
They're passing that baton to you to make sure that you go to cross the finish line in all the goals that you that you have set out to do, everything that you have planned to do. And not only that, he says they push you. They get you out of that stinking thinking mind, you know. And it's so crazy because I had a conversation earlier today with an amazing lady, and we were talking just kind of general about, you know, what's next. You know, listen, there's a difference between a hustle and a hustle. Okay, let me say that. I know I said hustle twice, but there's a difference, because a hustle means like the first hustle means you're on a mission. You know, that you're on a mission to do something, you know, that you got to get it done. You know, you're focused, you're laser focused. But some people say like a hustle is just, you know, like I call it the bouncing networker. You know, you just bouncing, you hustling in a bouncing way, that you don't have no real long goal, no, you know, everything is short lived for your immediate gratification. But that hustle, first hustle is the real hustle where we're trying to go. But as we were having this conversation, you know, she was kind of just explaining her plan to me. And I said, listen, let's make sure that we are strategically thinking about how we want to be seen in the marketplace. Let's make sure that we're strategically about when we get ready to promote something. So, Mr. Prince, I tell all the ladies, hey, ladies, thank you for joining us. And gentlemen, there's some gentlemen here too. But I always say that, you know what, before we put something out, one, there's a preparation time. And then two, we have to really strategically think, how do we want to be seen in the marketplace? And is our message clear, concise, and memorable?
Right.
A lot of times we throw out stuff, we have this grand plan, but we're not really strategically thinking about how that's going to look.
Right.
I mean, would you agree? Sometimes we don't strategically think about how that's going to look. We just kind of throw everything out there, and then we want it to land. But when things don't land, we're listening to crickets. Right. And then it's like, oh my God, this didn't work. You know, what did I do wrong? One, you didn't have you say, the leadership is what we needed first, most importantly. You know what I'm saying? Because people are watching us. But two, we didn't have that famous coach along to help us push us through the way, right? To make us see the blind spots. You made a good point. Write down blind spots. Ladies, write down blind spots. Put it into the comments for me, because he said blind spots. We all have blind spots.
Right. So
what would you say to that? I mean, like, we're throwing stuff out there. We're not really, you know, making sure that we have it all together. What would you say to a person that, you know, came up with an amazing idea, but didn't have it fully and completely thought out?
Well, I think that there definitely has to be a balance, because a lot of us, we would try to make something perfect, and we'll never get anything done. And then there are some people that just kind of fly by the seat of their pants. They come up with an idea and they don't plan, you know, it's like ready, fire, aim. It's like, wait a minute. No, you're not going to hit anything that way. So there has to be a balance. If you look at the cell phone that you have, and I don't know what type of phone, whether you're Android or iPhone, but whatever version you have, I can almost guarantee you it's not the iPhone 1 or the Galaxy 1. I mean, they have evolved. You know, we have the, you know, they had the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 10, the 20. So they keep improving. They didn't wait until they got it perfect. They put it out, and then they worked on what wasn't working. And I think a lot of us, we need to be more strategic in what we're doing, but we can't just put ourselves in a position to where it's not perfect, so I'm not going to do anything at all. It comes to a point to where you have to pull the trigger. But in doing so, you then have to position yourself to make adjustments on what didn't work and what wasn't serving you. That's why you have people evaluate, people to give you feedback, so that you can make the tweaks and make the adjustments as you go along. Because you're not going to start off hitting the ball every time, but you have to get your swing down. You have to get it out there. And a lot of people, and I'm going to share this with you, because this has been something I've been sharing ever since this pandemic started. And it's 4 different things that we need to do in order to move forward. The first thing is, write this down. The first thing we need to do is we need to get our emotions in check. Get our emotions in check, okay? Because I don't care what it is you're trying to do. If your emotions are all over the place, it's not going to work. I tell people that your emotions are like children. And I say, never let your emotions drive, because they're not covered on your insurance.
Oh, that's juice. Wait a minute. That
I'm
was some juice. That's juice.
going to say that again. Never let your
Please.
emotions drive. They're not covered on your insurance. Meaning that you make decisions when you're emotional that you regret. And I don't care whether they're, like whether you're excited, whether you're hyped, whether you're sad, whether you're angry. Oftentimes you make decisions in those moments and we sit back and look at ourselves and we regret the decision that we make. So again, get your emotions in check. Never let them drive you. They're not covered on your insurance. But after you get your emotions in check, after you do that, the second thing you need to do is get your mind right. Once you've dealt with your emotions, and when I say dealt with, I mean really process them. A lot of people try to suffocate and try to push them to the side, and that didn't hurt me and that didn't bother. No, deal with the emotions, get them in check, process them. Once you process them, then you can move on to getting your mind right. If you hadn't done the first part, you're not going to be able to get your mind right because your emotions are always going to be creeping up. They're always going to be tapping you on the shoulder. They're always going to be pulling at you. Get them in check first, but then get your mind right. And that means get your plan together. That means be strategic. That means do your part in order to set yourself up to win. So the first thing is get your emotions in check. Next thing is get your mind right. But the third thing is get moving. That means take action. That means do something. Now that you have the plan in place, there's no point in having a plan if you're not going to execute it. Once you get it in place, once you get it done, and again, it's not going to be a perfect plan. That's for sure. But at least you have a starting point. At least you are strategic in what you're trying to do. So then you have to get moving. You have to put it into action. You have to take action in order to get towards your goals and your dreams. But the fourth thing is, and a lot of people, they forget this. They can get their emotions in check. They can get their mind right. They can get going. But what they also need to do is they need to get ready to repeat. And here's what I mean. Here's what I mean when I say that. Because just because you got your emotions in check, just because you got your mind right, just because you got your plan together and you are executing it, something inevitably is going to go wrong. Everything is not going to go according to plan. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get emotional again. Your emotions are going to get out of whack. You're going to be upset. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be ready to quit. You're going to be ready to throw in the towel. But then you have to repeat the process. And so many people stop. They stop because, wait a minute, I've done all this stuff and I still didn't get where I'm supposed to be. Okay, but you're further along than you were when you started, right? So you got to repeat the process. You got to go through it one more time. And not just one more time, but just continue to go through it. And not even go through it, but grow through it, because that's how you get better. Ooh. So just to summarize what I just shared, get your emotions in check, get your mind right, get your act together or take action, and then you have to get ready to repeat. And that's how you continue to get better and better at what you're doing.
Woo woo, listen, I always listen. My son is woo woo. Woo 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 woo. Listen, that was juice. That was so juice. Listen, let me just reset the room real quick so everyone knows. Thank you all for joining in. This is some juicy hot topics. Listen, this is Talk to Me Tuesday, where we share helpful networking tips to help grow your business. And I have the king of leadership joining me today. I'm so super excited, Mr. Henry Prince, and he is dropping some golden nuggets. Wait a minute, I have to go back over this one, really.
Okay.
And listen, and if I get it wrong, please correct me. But you said never let your emotions drive if they are not on your insurance.
They're not covered on your insurance, right?
Let me put not covered on your insurance. Listen, we gotta stay right there. We got to stay right there just for a second, because that is juice. That is juice. You know what? That right there, we are so emotionally tied up right now with everything that has happened in the first quarter. Okay, I have to keep talking about first quarter because this is where we are right now.
Right.
He's telling you how to move forward. But we are so emotionally tied up into what, like we still don't have clarity. I know I was talking to you the other day about clarity, discipline, and consistency. But right now we still don't have clarity on what we are doing. And he put it right there. Your emotions. If they ain't covered, don't let them drive. If they ain't covered on the insurance, don't let them drive. We got to stay there for just a second. Yes, ladies. Yes. Thank you so much for commenting. Look, let me throw up some of these comments. Oh, I don't know. They're on this thing here, so I don't know if you can see them. But we are talking about how do you don't get your emotions all tangled up in it. You know, I always tell people, listen, don't get your emotions all involved in it, okay? Because it's
right.
we can't allow that to be there right now. If we are trying to talk about actually winning something and moving to the next level, we have to get emotionally entwined with
Yes.
that, you know, what we're doing. So explain just a little. Listen, that was juice. That was juice. That was that woo-woo. That's that woo-woo stuff. Listen,
Right,
please
right.
explain just a little bit more on that, because I don't think they quite understand the emotional part of where we're going right now and where that can take them if they don't entwine it.
Well, now when it comes to your emotions, again, they are, I'm not going to say not to be trusted, but you can't allow them to be the driving force behind your decisions. But you have to deal with them. You have to process them. You have to address them for what they are. If you were hurt, say you were hurt. If you felt abandoned, say you felt abandoned. If you felt misused or mistreated, you need to process that. Even if the person that did it doesn't care, they don't want to hear, they're not even around anymore, you owe it to yourself. Because see, there's no way that you can get to where you're going carrying that weight.
Ugh.
You
Oh, that's
have
so true.
you have to take the time to address that. And you have to do it in such a way to where you truly just get rid. I was on a call earlier, in fact, this morning, and this guy actually said best thing for us to do, and he was talking about mental health, because we had a March Madness talking about men's mental health, and he said that we need to write down the things that hurt us, write down the things that we're struggling with, write down the things that are bothering us, write down the things that are just eating at us, and then burn them. Write on a piece of paper and burn it. Just get it out. And he said, even if you don't want to write, pick up your phone and do a voice recording and just get it out of you. Oh man, listen, I tell people all the time, we all need somebody that we can throw up on. Now stay with me, because I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Somebody that we can throw up on. Because see, when our bodies get sick, and there's something in us, whether you got food poisoning or whether we had too much to drink, whatever it is, our body starts to react. And in order for the healing to start, you have to get rid of it. So you purge, like your body gets rid of it. You have to expel it. And then once you've done that, then you can start the healing process. Then you can start feeling better. Well, the same thing goes for us emotionally, mentally. For us to put ourselves in a place to where we have somebody that we can just be real with. Somebody somebody that we can throw up on, and somebody that cares enough about us to allow us to do that. Not somebody, I thought you were stronger than that. I thought you were better than that. I can't believe you let that guy. Well, it did get to me. And obviously, you're not the person I need to be talking to if you won't let me be human, okay? So we need to have people in our life close to us that we can do that with. And I tell people all the time, you can't blame somebody for not catching you if you push them away.
Ooh.
Now you need to write that down. You can't blame somebody for not catching you when you push them away. And so many of us, we want to be the Lone Ranger out there by ourselves, and not working or not having people close enough to us to win. Not if trouble comes, but when trouble comes and when the load gets too heavy, we don't have anybody to reach out to and grab because we push people away. So in order for us to get better with our emotions, we have to address them. We have to process them. But then after you've done that, then you can move past them.
Oh, that list. No, that is such juice. Because let me tell you, I feel like you are hitting on so many important points that I really want our audience to really soak that in. Because one of the things that just what you're saying, we can't blame other people. And a lot of times, other people want to blame us for their, for not being successful, even when we were there trying to help them.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's juice. That's really juice. I mean, that's just like, you tell people to invest. Okay, prime example, to invest. So we're talking about, leadership and coaching, and we're telling you, get a coach. It doesn't maybe not have to be us, but you have to get somebody who you can connect with. But here's the thing: what people fail to realize is that you're paying them, the coach, but you're really just investing in yourself. You have to understand that there's a difference of investing in yourself. And you made a point. You got to talk to somebody. We have to talk to somebody. We have to purge it. We have to get it out. That's just like you going to the hospital and you're explaining to people what's wrong with you, but then you really don't tell them and they can't help you.
That's
they can't,
true.
We can't give you the cure if you don't tell us what it is.
That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Let's talk about it. Listen, we got to on this up just for one more second. Because people feel like, they are ashamed. They have to be, listen, we need to be unapologetic when it comes to us having to ask somebody for help.
Right. I tell my kids all the time, there's nothing wrong with needing help. There's nothing wrong with needing help. But there's everything wrong with needing help and not being willing to ask for it.
Ooh, that's it.
There's everything wrong with needing help and not being willing to ask for it. And something else you said, in fact, maybe think about a quote from Les Brown again, where he talked about those who pay attention.
Woo. That's it.
Those who pay attention. And see, a lot of even coaches, they have clients, they've taken on people, to try to help them. And they wonder why they aren't doing the work, because they don't have any skin in the game. But when you're paying somebody, you pay attention. Mm-hmm. You pay attention. And so you are right. It is an investment. It's an investment in ourselves. And we need to look at it as just that. An investment. Yes, I'm paying you, but I'm investing in me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because here's the thing about it is we're talking about personal development all the time. I talk about that. What are you doing to feed your mind? What are you doing to make yourself better, to grow, to be able to bless other people? Like, what are you doing? And that is a part of, listen, whether you buy a book or go to a class, or you're investing or training seminar, you're investing in yourself. But remember, when you're investing in yourself, God puts that in us to be able to bless other people with what we're given. He's given us gifts and talents to do that.
Right.
And you know what? He puts people in our life too to tell us, listen, you need a little direction. You need to get your GPS together. Because you need some direction.
Right,
you can off course a little bit. So, we got to thump in that GPS. I love that. I love that. Listen. Okay, so wait a minute. We got to finish going. He said the second thing was the mind, to get your mind right. So when we're entering into something, we need to do a mind shift. Let's talk about that. Like, we talk about getting our mind right. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people are going into second quarter. Okay. And they, like you said, emotionally, I'm going back to the formula. Well, I don't know if it's a formula. I'm going to call it a formula, but we're going back to the emotions, that things didn't quite go to where you were. So now you're thinking that you have to start all over, pick up something else. Here's where our mindset has to stay together. We cannot be all over the place.
Right.
Okay. Right. We just cannot. We have to have some consistency. Remember, I said our message has to be clear, concise, and memorable. And here's the thing about it is, we have to stay the course. We have to go through the follow-up. I had a lady on and she was talking about, we have to take that shift to follow through. So if our mind is not correct, and we can't do this. So let's talk a little bit about mindset. Okay. Give us some juice on how to fix that. Give us a little, I'm going to say juice. Give us some juice.
Well, in fact, when it comes to our mindset, we have to know why we started. Getting our mind right, it has to have something concrete. We have to have a goal. We have to have our reason, our why. Why are we doing this? Why are we going after our goals? What is our reason? It has to be something that's in, I'm not going to say concrete, but internally for us, it's our In fact, my slogan with SeconaPrince.com is where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And see, my thing with that is this, that once you truly understand who you are, it's not a question of who's going to let me. It becomes a question of who's going to stop me. Because when you really know who you are, when you really know your why, when you really know why you're doing this, when you know, not when you feel, because feelings, they come and go. Again, those are those emotions. But when you have a solid reason, this is why I'm making this sacrifice. This is why I'm starting this business. This is why I'm doing this job. This is why I'm taking this promotion. When you have that down pat, then it just becomes, when the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter, because you'll figure that out.
That's right. That's right.
That out. And I think a lot of people don't spend enough time trying to figure out the why. They try to figure out the how, and then when things get hard, they want to stop. But if your why is clearly defined, the how doesn't matter.
Ooh, that's juice. That is juice. That's juice. Woo 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 woo. That's that woo woo. Listen.
Woo-woo.
And here we're gonna go to the third thing, because you know what? Action cures everything. Right now, put it on your mirror. Action cures everything. Listen, we can set all these plans, put all these things out, but let me tell you, nobody's gonna come and knock on your door. You know, right. You got to get out and put some action to it. You know what? No one even knows what you're doing if you're not putting action to it. We gotta put action to everything we're doing. So you know what? Real quick though, me and Mr. Prince was talking, and he wrote a book, and I love what you did with the mountain. The mountain. Please explain, because that's really what we're talking about right now. This is good news. Please tell us a little bit about that, and tell us the difference. I love that.
Well, this particular book is entitled "Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain?" It's about finding your true purpose. It's available on Amazon, and it really helps you to evaluate yourself. Dr. Miles Monroe said the greatest failure in life is to succeed at the wrong assignment. The greatest failure in life is to succeed at the wrong assignment. And when I first heard that quote, the first thing that came to my mind was a picture of someone standing on top of a mountain saying, "I did it." But at the bottom of the picture, there was a caption that said, "But you're on the wrong mountain." Now, people talk about climbing the corporate ladder, and they talk about, well, if you get to the top and find out, that you're on the wrong ladder, just lean it up against another building. And that's a little more doable. But when you think about the time, the energy, and effort it takes to climb a mountain and to find out that you're on the wrong one, that could be devastating, except if you don't learn these 3 points. And for those that are taking those, please write these down. There are 3 things you can learn from being on the wrong mountain. The first thing is you can learn this is not it. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I can scratch this off my list. I can X this off. This is not it. That's one thing. Okay, good. Now we got that out of the way. But even being on the wrong mountain, you can see the right one. Because you can see further, even being on the wrong mountain, than you can even being in the valley. So just because you're on the wrong mountain, don't take that as a loss. And which brings us to our third point. The third point is, from the wrong mountain, you can see the right one. And see, there are a lot of people, they don't even start climbing at all. But even if you're on the wrong mountain, the good thing about seeing the right one is that it's not going to take you that long to get up it, because you have mountain climbing skills. There's stuff you learn even climbing the wrong mountain. You thought that you were just wasting your time. No, you've learned some stuff that you can take to you with the right mountain. So that's the reason that I wrote that book, in order to help people to understand that, listen, finding out what your true purpose is, what your passion is, that thing that you love to do, that thing that you don't even look at your watch while you're doing. And you hate when it's over. If you can wrap your economy around that, if you can build a lifestyle around that, you'll never work another day in your life. And for me, my right mountain is what I'm doing right now, motivational speaking. Because I realized I had so much to share, so much to give the world. And I was doing 3D animation at one time, but I realized that's not where I'm supposed to be. That's my mountain. And I made the switch. I made the transition. But again, the stuff I learned doing 3D animation about networking, about integrity, I took all that with me. I brought all those skill sets with me over to the motivational speaking. I do want to drop this one other nugget because I have to get this out. I have to get this out. My definition of integrity is when your intents, your words, and your actions, when they all line up. What you intend to do, what you say you're going to do, and what you do all line up. And I thought about that when you talked about actions, because yes, action is the cure. But if you don't intend to do it, you're going to half-heartedly do it. Woo, if you don't say you're going to do it, if you don't say you're going to do it, no one can hold you accountable. If I told you I'm going back to college, I'm going back, to get my doctor's degree or my master's degree, I've said that. You can hold me accountable. But if I just think it, if I say it on the inside, no one can hold my feet to the fire. No one can say, well, you said you were going to do that. So what you intend to do, what you say you're going to do, and then what you do, when they all line up, that's integrity. And I like to give this illustration because when I was younger, of course, I was a child doing what children do, and I would get in trouble. And my mother, if she told me, "Boy, I'm gonna spank you," my mom had integrity because what she intended to do, what she said she was going to do, and what she did, they all lined up. Now my grandmother, on the other hand, if she said, "Well, I'm gonna spank you," I knew she didn't have that much. She didn't have as much integrity as my mom did when it came to disciplining me. Mm-hmm. But see, I knew when my mom told me, I could take it to the bank. I knew for a fact, okay, it's coming because she had integrity. So what about you and I? We need to make sure that what we intend to do, what we say we're going to do, and what we do, they all line up. And if something happens to interrupt any one of those processes, we owe it to the people that are looking to us to show up. We owe them an explanation. We owe them an explanation. Just tell them something happened, something came up. I couldn't do this because of this, because of that. Just be honest with people. And so many people they want to be people pleasers to the point to where they are willing to just put themselves in a position to where no one can trust anything they say. No one can count on them. No one believes they have integrity because they have a track record. I mean, if I don't show up, there's a reason. And I'll let you know. Because again, I want to be a person of integrity. So when I say I'm going to do something, I've already intended to do it. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen.
Yes. Oh, woo. That is juice. Let me tell you, I say all the time, the blessings are in the show up. We got to show up. Even when you only got that 1, 2, or 3 people showing up, even if you have one person, no, let's take it back. Even if you don't have nobody showing up, you still got to show up because that's an integrity. You know what I'm saying? Right. We have to be about what we say we're going to do. And then how do you think as leaders, people are looking at us to follow through? Right. People are not going to follow you if you're wishy-washy. People are not, because here's the thing about it is people want to know that you're going to go the distance.
Right. Right. They do.
They do, and all that line up. The guy always snap. That is some juice, and we need to write that down because I know even just as I'm talking to people or when I'm coaching other clients, they talk about that, and the first thing I say is, you know what, the blessings in the show up. You got to show up no matter what. You have to show up, and you listen. You better believe if I don't show up, something happened. Call, check on me.
Exactly.
Because you know what? I'm known for that phrase, the blessings in the show. I show up no matter what. Okay, listen. And here's the last one. We have to repeat it. Right. We have to keep repeating. Because what happens with repeat, we learn. We learn much more every time we repeat. And it just gets better and better and better. We go through the whole cycle. Listen, then we're going to start having insurance for our emotions, right? Right. I have to use that. We have to, but then, what? Our mind, listen, when the next time something happens, our mind is, listen, it's already laser focused. We can make the shift. And then that action is just going to happen because that's what we want to shout it out. We want to tell other people so other people can hold us accountable. And then it just repeat. Look, I got that formula. Listen, I hope y'all got all that juice. Okay, so now, before we go, listen, this is the king of leadership. He's got some amazing things that's going on. Now, you have another book that I can't wait to get my hands on. Go ahead and tell us about that book.
Well, this one is entitled Leadership That Lasts. It's my latest book. Actually, it's my 5th book that I've written. And it's about passing on 10 solid principles to ensure an enduring legacy. And we really don't have enough time for me to get into it, but I'm telling you, when it comes to leadership, it's not just about leading today, but setting the next generation up to succeed. That's what true leaders are. True leaders don't make followers. True leaders make other leaders. And that's what this particular book, which is available on Amazon, this particular book, it talks about the principles that you can not only put into practice now, but you can model them for the next generation, and you can pass them on. You can give them a framework to where they can develop their own style of leadership based upon these principles, and you can see the organization survive without you.
Now, listen, that's why I said this is the king of leadership. Listen, I need for all y'all to go out and get his book because this is good juice. This is what we need as leaders. This is a part of that personal development that I'm talking about. Listen, he said it's on Amazon. He's gonna drop the link or something. Listen, tell us what you got going on so we can tune in to you. Not only support you through your books, but tell us what else, another way that we can support you. Listen, when I have the king of leadership come on, we need to be making listen. You need to be showing up where he's showing up so you can get these nuggets. Because believe me, they're going to be different nuggets each time. So tell us where you're going to be, what you're doing this week, this month, or whatever, how we can get a hold of you.
Well, you can actually check me out on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Saucony Prince, and believe me, I've done it. I think I'm the only one that's there. I'm the one that shows up, definitely. But I do have something that is huge coming, and I would announce it right here, but I gotta wait till tomorrow because I want to make sure that I set it up right. But I have something incredible coming. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and you'll find out exactly what we have because we have something huge coming up. And I am super excited about it because I know it's going to be a game changer for everybody that's able to check it out. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome. That is good stuff. Listen, I appreciate you tuning in and coming to Talk to Me Tuesday, where we share our helpful networking to help grow your business. Like I said, anytime that we can get the presence of the king, listen, I'm all in. I'm all in. Thank you all for joining us. Listen, follow me on, again, LinkedIn, Facebook. Ladies, for those ladies that are watching, we are doing conversations over coffee on Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time. We have some amazing stuff coming out. We're talking about the second quarter, how we're going to go and dominate it. So listen, and if you like any of these networking tips, please jump over to my WIN membership program. I put the link already in there, and I look forward to talking to you. Listen, before we go, I'm super excited about something as well. I'm just going to go over here because I've actually finished my magazine and I'm super excited. It's going to be coming out in April. So as we end this broadcasting, I'm just going to play my video here real quick. Tune in, make sure that you get with some of these amazing ladies and grab your copy of this magazine. But until next Tuesday, we will have another amazing guest. But join us for Talk to Us Tuesday. Have a great day.
Are you ready for 2021 takeover? Tandra Price, watch out! The Networking Ninja launches the first exclusive edition of her magazine. Tap in. She is changing the networking space all over the planet. Meet the powerful ladies taking over 2021.